Yeah, yesterday we started acronyms or full forms. We discussed about couple of full forms. We'll continue that one. And if time permits, I will start OSLAS itself. So let's start now. So last one is ICMP. It's an Internet Control Message Protocol. So why we'll use this particular protocol? Basically for pinging purpose, ping command will use ICMP protocol. It will deliver the message but it also receive the message. So ICMP does not contain any port number. It contains only so respect to service or application water process is running against the respective port number. So that is about ICMP. Next one is NTP. So NTP full form is Network Time Protocol. So why we have to use this NTP server, part of the NTP protocol in each and every organization? Basically to sync up our local time with our respective tools time. Maybe every organization it will use servers, databases, and also web servers, even tools like Jenkins, or maybe security tools like firewall, proxy, EDR, SIM tools. Each and every SIM tool in the system wise, if you want to select the time zone, okay, so we have to sync up our local time. For example, in India, our local time zone, we can call it as IST, India Standard Time Zone. So always baseline is GMT, green mean which time from UK. So according to that one, we have to select. So whatever local time now, if I want to sync up with our laptops and MacBooks and workstations and desktops and servers, in the similar way, all the security tools, any tool basically, not only security, any IT and software tool. So for that purpose, we will use one of the server. That server we can call it as NTP server. So what this NTP server it will do, whatever local time it is there, part of the whatever time zone. So we are deploying the tool. That particular time zone, it will do the synchronization with our local time. For example, in the India side, so whatever time zone we have to sync up or synchronization we have to do, we have to select as a IST time zone. So that is the importance of the NTP. And this is also now the important interview question. So what is the NTP port number? So NTP port number is 123. So and what is the importance of the NTP? It will sync up local time zone. Sync up means synchronization basically with our tools time. So each and every system in our organization, whatever we are using, we have to sync up because manually for every system, it is very difficult to go and assign the time is complicated. So that is the reason if you're using NTP server, we can group it all the IP addresses and all the machines or all the endpoints or all the servers or all the databases and whatever tools we are using. Simultaneously, we can go and we can select the respective time zone. So for syncing up that particular time zone, we will use NTP. Okay. So that is about NTP. Next one is IMAP. Full form is Internet Message Access Protocol. So why will use this one? It is facing to the internet once again. For sending the mail messages and also receiving the messages, we will use IMAP. For sending the messages facing to internet and also receiving the messages. So we will use IMAP and port number is 143. So next one we have POP3. So we have POP1, POP2, POP3 and latest version is POP3. It's a post office protocol. So obviously why will use post office to deliver the letters. So same way here to deliver the messages, we will use post office protocol. And port number is 110. Next one is SMB. It's a server message block. It's a dangerous port or dangerous protocol. So through this particular server message block for each and every Windows operating system, in case this port number, if you are opening, attacker will try to do ransomware category of the attack. It's one of the dangerous attack from past around 7 to 8 years. So 2017 ransomware attack entered into the market. Till today, one of the dangerous attack is ransomware. Each and every at least one ransomware attack, it is there in the news. Okay, so that is server message block. So why we have to open this particular port for sending the messages and receiving the messages? It's dedicatedly applicable to Windows operating system only. For messages, delivery, and also sending and receiving the messages. So as I said, it is important protocol as well. On port number 445. So yesterday we have seen Eternal Blue and Eternal Romance hacking group name. So initially, so whatever Eternal Blue and Eternal Romance in 2017, so they identified so ransomware category of the malicious software program code, and they used this particular port number only. So this particular port number attacker entered into the organization, and almost in 2017 to 2018 approximate 1.5 time period, attackers compromised each and every organization and almost 30 billion USD dollars business loss in 1.5 year time period. So initially they started with WannaCry and Petya. So later it has come Maze ransomware, and also recent one is Blocksuit. So there are so many ransomware attacks. Yeah, we will discuss that one is later. So if you are opening this port, so obviously attacker will try to do so ransomware category of the attacks. So this one of the dangerous port. Always we have to close this port.
Arthur,
Yeah, please.
can you tell the differences between this POP3, IMAP, and SMTP?
Yeah, SMTP is mainly for the email oriented. So that is for SMTP side. And POP3 is for the messaging purpose through peer-to-peer communication in the networking side. Okay. And IMAP is for the internet facing. So when I say internet facing, something you are access through internet, maybe any web browser oriented part, we can use IMAP. So this will fall under network layer. ICMP also will fall under network layer, and IMAP will fall under the so POP3 will fall under the data link layer, and IMAP will fall under the network layer. So that is the main difference.
So actually, when I have seen, right, it's like when we can download it to all the devices is what I have seen. So which protocol they uses over there? So
IMAP,
whenever I get,
IMAP.
it's for the all devices we can view, right?
Yes.
So POP we can't do that. That is
POP3
what.
we can't do. It is mainly for the data link layer. So in the data link layer through air or water, any other media. So from point to point through physical cable connectivity only we can use POP3.
Okay, okay. It's like a vintage systems which we work on.
Yes.
Okay.
Any other doubt?
No. I have only this particular doubt.
Okay.
IMAP and POP3 differences basically. It was like they are telling about messages,
Yeah.
sending and receiving of messages, but there is no proper differentiation.
Okay. Yeah. IMAP3, as I said, most of the cases it will appear in the application layer. So and also network layer, and POP3 will fall under mainly into data link layer.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a good question. Thanks for asking. Next one is TTP. So this is already we have seen yesterday. So tactics, techniques, and also procedures. So as for MITRE attack framework, so attacker will use offensive mechanism, and blue team or SOC team will use defensive mechanism. So there we know about what is meant by tactic and technique, and how the attacker will take care of the respective procedure to hack any system. So as I said yesterday itself, We have 14 tactics, and those 14 tactics are divided into 500 plus techniques. So that is about TTP full form. Next one, whatever we discussed part of the definitions, I will repeat once again. Next one is Active Directory. AD is nothing but Active Directory. Next one, DC, so data center. So next one is DR, disaster recovery site or disaster recovery. BIA, business impact analysis. Okay, in the risk management side, whenever any risk is involved for any organization, that may be on the endpoint side or network or application or cloud or server or database, we should aware of the what is the business impact. So we have to analyze the whether any availability issues will occur or confidentiality or integrity, and also what is the financial impact to the organization, and also what is the people impact to the organization. So all those things using quantitative and qualitative, and we have to do the business impact analysis, especially L3 level in the cybersecurity SOC operations or EDR L3 or firewall L3. Most of the cases, whenever they are taking care of the instant response, they should analyze even business impact as well. In case something getting compromised, what is the impact to the organization? Is there any business disruption or business outage or any availability issues will occur? All those analysis, we can call it as a business impact analysis. Okay. Next one is CIS. So full form is Center for Internet Security. So it is one of the website. Basically, we can use it for the hardening benchmark. So what is meant by hardening benchmark? To implement initial security configuration in the server side or end user side or cloud side, we'll use couple of settings. Those settings we can call it as a hardening benchmark. I will go to definition. So I will write it here, hardening benchmark. So very, very popular hardening benchmark is CAS. In the similar way, we have Department of Defense stick compliances also, but most of the organization will follow CIS benchmark. So first of all, what is hardening? It is initial security configurations can be implemented in the assets. So those assets may be our servers, our databases, endpoints, and finally cloud. So as I said, for this hardening benchmark, there are two hardening benchmarks are very, very famous all over the worldwide. So example, first one is CIS, Center for Internet Security. Second one is DOD, STIG compliances. So it's mainly for the DOD full form is Department of Defense. So for STIG, there is no full form. So here mainly this particular compliance, we can use it for Navy, Army, Defense environment only. So dedicated to those environments, in case those organizations, they are using any servers or any databases, any virtual machines or any cloud environment, we have to implement these initial security configurations. These initial security configuration is defined by Department of Defense from USA. In the similar way, we have Singapore benchmark and also French. So these are all the worldwide very famous hardening benchmark, and the most popular benchmark is CIS. So where we will discuss this particular topic, we'll discuss this particular topic under vulnerability assessment and vulnerability management. Okay, now I'm going back to full forms or acronyms here. So Center for Internet Security, I will show this website as well. CIS benchmark. So if I'm going here, CIS security org. So these securities are free of cost. We no need to pay any money. And here we have to go and we have to download the hardening benchmark. So download benchmarks here option. So they will give it for the cloud environment, they will give it for the databases, they will give it for the endpoints, they will give it for the servers and so on. So, but we have to register basically. So then only we can download. Otherwise, we can't download. So it will take some time. But anyways, I will explain in-depth analysis part of our vulnerability assessment and vulnerability management. For Windows side, approximate we have 225 plus hardening benchmark, and also for Linux and container and Docker. Docker side 88, I think, and Linux side. So part of the Unix operating system, we have 200 plus compliances. So these compliances, who will implement? Whether security person will implement? No. These initial security configurations will be done by respective server team or database team. Then what is our role part of hardening benchmark? As an auditor, we have to take care of how many benchmarks are passing, how many are failing. So just we have to do auditing. There is no need to do any manual audit. So whatever vulnerability assessment and vulnerability management tools we do have, so we will run this scan against each and every asset, that may be laptop or MacBook or workstation or desktop or network or servers or databases or cloud. And so in case server team or database team or cloud team, they are implementing all these configurations, those things, it will appear as a pass. In case if they don't implement, or they did not configure something, in that scenario, it will come as a fail. We will not worry about whatever past one, whatever failed one compliances are there. Those compliances, whoever is the business owner or asset owner or cloud owner or network owner, we have to send part of the vulnerability analysis or vulnerability management. And finally, they will do the patch management, and also they will take care of the respective initial security configuration. So why we have to take care of this hardening benchmark? First of all, to reduce the attacker vector, to reduce the attacker complexity. If are implementing these things, it's very difficult to hack our systems. So that is the reason we have to implement this hardening benchmark. Okay. So that is about overall introduction about hardening benchmark and also CAS. So DOD. So DOD full form is Department of Defense. Next one DC we have seen data center, and second DC domain controller. So it is a centralized authentication authorization server, mainly on the Windows operating system side. So whenever any end user is providing the credentials part of the authentication, so our domain controller, it will validate whether that particular user is existing in the organization or not. So that is domain controller, already we discussed. Next one, we have EDR. So full form is endpoint detection and response. In the similar way, we have seen other terminology as well, or definitions. NDR, network detection and response. Next one, XDR, extended detection and response. Next one, MDR, managed detection and response. And also we have FIM, FIM, file integrity monitoring. And next one is IAM, identity access management. So this is mainly applicable to cloud. So we can discuss in-depth analysis what is identity and access management. It is simple. So based on the role-based access control, we can create group policies, and we will assign one of the access key and secret key, and also multi-factor authentication mechanism to access respective cloud service providers. That may be Amazon Web Services or Microsoft Azure or GCP or Alibaba or Oracle or IBM and so on. So next one is PAM, privilege access management. So here based on the role wise, based on the, so time wise, like just in time. It's one of the terminology in the Microsoft Azure. So according to that one, how much time the user is needed access. Apologies, guys. Actually, some network issues. Yeah, PAM is privilege access management. So privilege access management is based on the time wise we will give most of the cases. So how much access he needed and how much time he needed. According to that one, we can go and we can define whether it is 1 day or 2 days or 1 month or 1 year. So for those time wise we can give. And so for these two combination of the respect access management, we have couple of tools are there. Microsoft Identity Access Management, and also we have Ping Identity, and also we have CyberArk. All these are different types of tools dedicated to IAM and PAM. So next one is IDS. Full form is intrusion detection system. In the similar way, IPS, intrusion prevention system. So IDS only will detect the respective capability whenever any abnormal activity is going on in the networking side or host side or wireless side. IPS, on the other hand, it will take care of the not only detection or alerting, but also it will take care of the prevention or blocking. So that is about IDS and IPS. Next one is NGFW. So NGFW full form is Next Generation Firewall. Current generation of firewall, whatever we are using, that is called as Next Generation Firewall from 2016 to till date. Prior to that one, we have UTM. So UTM full form is Unified Threat Management. So this one may be approximate 2002 till 2013 or 14, approximate that particular time period. We we called it as UTM. It is almost equivalent to firewall. It is not a next generation. It is a traditional firewall. Next one is SWG. It's a secure web gateway. So it is also called as a proxy. It is also called as a app gateway. Next one, NIDS, network intrusion detection system. In the similar way, NIPS, network intrusion prevention system. So in the networking side, if you want to monitor flooding category or spoofing category or malware category, then detection purpose we will use NIDS. On detection prevention blocking mode, we will use NIPS. So on the wireless side, WIDS, wireless intrusion detection system. In the similar way, we have WIPS, wireless intrusion prevention system. So on the wireless side, something malicious activity it's going on using rogue device or attacker device. In the wireless terminology, we can call it as a not attacker. We will call it as most of the case a rogue. So something if you want to monitor from the wireless abnormal activity for a detection side, we will use WIDS. For detection, blocking, and prevention, we will use WIPS. Same case, it is applicable to HIDS, HAPS as well on the endpoint side. So host intrusion detection system. In the similar way, HIPS, host intrusion prevention system. So nowadays, we don't have separate solution for HIDS and HAPS. By default, whatever we are purchasing EDR or XDR, so it has a capability inbuilt. So prior to 2016, so we have HIDS, HAPS separately. So we have to purchase antivirus or anti-malware, and also we have to purchase HIDS, HAPS. So these two are different solutions on the endpoint side. But nowadays, whatever EDR or XDR we are purchasing, each and every vendor, what they are doing, instead of why we have to make two different solutions. So inbuiltly, they are making inbuilt capability of HIDS, HAPS part of the malware category of the preventing tool. So that is EDR or XDR. Okay. So there is no separate solution now. It is inbuilt capability of respective EDR and XDR tool. So previously, yes, we do have separately HIDS solution and HAPS solution. So along with anti-malware or antivirus. Okay. So NGAV, next generation antivirus. Next one, WAF, web application firewall. Next one, SIEM, security information and event management. Next one, SOC. So I'm repeating all these. Basically, we discussed all these part of last 4 classes or 5 classes. So SOC, Security Operations Center. What else? SCP, Secure Copy.
TFT you have.
OSI, Open System Interconnection. So OSI full form is voice layers. Our next topic is voice layers only. So OSI full form is Open System Interconnection. In the similar ISO, International Standard Organization, ITU, International Telecommunication Unit, DORA, Discovery, Offer, Request, and Acknowledgement. Next one, DNS, Domain Name System or Domain Name Server. DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. MX, Mail Exchanger. Okay, so this is one of the record part of the DNS. So this particular record is mainly for the to sending the mails and receiving the mails. We have to configure the MX record part of the SMTP server and also DNS server. PTR, reverse pointer. It is one of the record. Once again, we have to configure part of the respective DNS record itself. And DLP, so data loss prevention. So this is one of the trending technology once again. So in the endpoint side and network side and cloud and wireless side, we have to monitor whatever data exfiltration is happening or data violations and data breaches. So for that one, we can use different types of implementation methods like server plus agent based approach if it is endpoint side, and if it is network side, we have to implement inline method. If it is wireless side, we have to implement inline method, so that any type of data is leaking, we can make sure that that particular data is restricted data or private data or public data or else our internal data. Okay, so this is also one of the very important topic. PII, personal identifiable information or personal identification information. PHI, personal health information. Next one, GDPR. So full form is General Data Protection Regulation. So this is part of our, once again, protecting of the GDPR. Okay. So wherever the PII data is leaking, we can make sure that that should not be violated. In case GDPR data is violated, so respective companies has to pay a lot of penalties to the government. So we have biggest data breaches. It's happened from the GDPR complaint side, and the GDPR complaints is implemented by European Union in 2018. So very biggest data breaches, whatever GDPR side it's happened, WhatsApp, Facebook, and also Didi Global, and so Telstra, what else? AT&T, so Meta. So these are all the companies. All those completely they leaked the data, and they paid lot of money to the respective governments for violating of the PIA data. It's one of the very popular complaints right now in the market. HIPAA, health insurance portability, accountability, and act. It's one of the healthcare based complaints. Basically, it will fall under the healthcare business or pharma based or hospital side. So those companies, they should not reveal the PHA data. So same thing, in case any PHA data, it's revealing by the respective organizations or hospitals or healthcare industries, or even whoever is developing the health related products like Philips or GE Healthcare or Johnson and Johnson and so on. So those companies also has to pay money. Okay. So next one we have ISMS, Information Security Management System. Next one, SOX. So ISMS is a part of ISO 27001. Once again, it's a part of GRC under information security. SOX is nothing but Sarbanes-Oxley Act. So this mainly for the financial transaction. So financial transaction will be provided by each and every company. So whenever they are making any financial transaction, like a phone pay or Google Pay, those companies has to follow this particular SOX compliances. And also we have PCA DSS, Payment Card Industry Data Security Standards. So that is the full form of PCA DSS. Whenever we are making payment through PhonePe or Google Pay or Paytm, or even you are placing the order in the Amazon or Walmart or Tesco Stores Limited and so on. So those companies, it will ask credit card and debit card. So we no need to take care of the PCI DSS complaint as an end user. What are retail companies, what are healthcare companies, or what are banking sector, any sector, whoever is doing making the payment through debit card and credit card, those companies has to certify PCI DSS. Okay, so because our data we are keeping in Amazon, for example, maybe I'm ordering one of the laptop in Amazon. So I'm making payment through my debit card or credit card through EMI. So I have to enter my credit card and debit card. Okay. So how can I trust now Amazon Web Services? So I will enter my CVV, I will enter my, when the card is going to expire, and I will enter my 16 card digit number, and also, so all those data I'm entering as a PIA data. In case Amazon leaking the data, so obviously we will give complaint, right? So same thing. So we should have the trust. Then only, okay, so we can do the business. So we are going and making the payment through third-party gateway, or else maybe directly through respective websites or retail or banking or healthcare industry and so on. So whatever companies they're accepting the payment through debit card and credit card, those companies has to follow PCI DSS. So that is about PCI DSS. EMS, Environmental Management System. So every company even has to follow. So global warming and also all those whatever UNFCCC defined by the environmental related, so respective pollutions or ozone layer depletion and carbon emissions, we should not do global warming related as well. We have to certify this particular certification as well as a protocol from the organization point of view. So then only they will give the business to us, especially electrical industries, not mobile, civil and automobile. So pharma-based companies, they have to follow these environmental management system certification as well. So next one is IMS, sorry, not IMS, QMS, Quality Management System. So next one, GRC, a Quality Management System, you know already this one. Every product, whatever we are giving to the customer for trustworthy purpose, so for belief purpose, so we can make sure that, so QMS should be certified. Maybe I'm purchasing one of the food from KFC. So in that scenario, KFC has to certify quality management system, whatever food they are providing or whatever food they are making. So it should be quality based. They have to certify QMS based. Not on that one, maybe Aravindo is developing one of the pharma based pills. They have to make sure that QMS should be certified. It's like a quality control. So GRC, governance, risk and compliances. So next one, ERP, enterprise resource planning. It's a part of the SAP and Oracle. So why I'm saying all these now? So these terminology I will use. That's why. Yeah. So these are the couple of guys. If anything I missed out, maybe wherever the topic it will come, there I will explain once again. So obviously I will miss because there are so many things and so many abbreviations and so many acronyms we have to remember. So whenever the topic will come, those topics I'll explain about those that particular full depth analysis and also definitions and so on. So that's all about overall. Okay, so acronyms and full forms. Now let's start about OSLAS. So here onwards, our main course content or syllabus will start. So under the networking concepts, first topic is so OSLAS. So full form is, just now we have seen, open system interconnection. Okay, so that is the full form of OSLAS. Before going to start about OSLAS, and explaining about each and every OS layer importance. First of all, what is meant by OS layer? So let's go and discuss. So before class has been started, just I was drawing this particular diagram. So here one of the device is called as a peer and the second device is called as a peer. So otherwise you can call it as a user A and this is user B. So peer is nothing but neighbor device. So this particular peer neighbor device is this peer and this particular peer device is this peer. So peer to peer is nothing but neighbor devices communication opposite. So maybe you can consider this one as a user A and this one is you can consider as a user B, or else you can consider this one as a client and this one is server, or else you can consider this one is a client and this one is database, or else you can consider this one as a client and this one is a website or application. So there are so many things basically. If they want to communicate each other, so now that particular communication will go via couple of nodes. So using couple of regulations and policies, those regulations and policies, we can call it as a protocol. What is in the protocol? Protocol is nothing but here rules and regulations. So it will follow certain rules and regulation. So then finally, in between these users or in between these peers, our client and server communication will complete. So that entire process, whatever it is happening, this particular process is called as a communication channel. This communication channel, who is defined? This communication channel is defined by ISO. So ISO full form is International Standard Organization, along with ITU, International Telecommunication Unit, in 1984. So when the Charles Babbage invented computer in 1984, there itself this communication has started. Okay, so this entire communication channel we can call it as a OSA layer communication. So for example, in practical world, if you want to access any website, maybe you want to watch one of the movie in the YouTube, there we will use voice layer communication. Maybe you want to transfer some of the amount, so through any net banking system via website, there we can use voice layer communication. Maybe you want to access one of the RDP connection, so there we'll use voice layer communication. And also you want to book a ticket in Orange Travel, sorry. So there we can use once again, so this voice layer approach. So not only that one, even if you want to send email from one user to another user, so there also we can use. So these are all the practical ways how the communication will happen from one user to another user, or client to server, or user to database, or user to application, or user to website, or client to website, and so on. So how this communication will happen? So based on the whatever ISO defined or ITU defined respective rules and regulations or protocols via node. So node is nothing but like intermediate device. So through this particular device or through this particular router, communication has to go. So maybe for example, you're traveling to X to Y. So Hyderabad to Bangalore, maybe Hyderabad and also Mahbub Nagar, next one Karnool, Anantapur, Hindupur, finally, so Bangalore. So each and every place we have bus stations. So those bus stations we can consider as a nodes. So this is the way how we can travel from Hyderabad to Bangalore and finally you will reach destination. So same way here also, ISO and ITU what they have done. So they define a couple of nodes in between. Those things we can call it as a routers using satellite or PSLV or optical fiber communication. And finally, other user will receive the communication. So this is the overall how the user communication will happen. This particular communication channel, we can call it as a OSA layer communication. Okay, for this one, what are the different types of policies and regulations they've defined, and what that one we can call it as? We can call it as a protocol. So this protocol is nothing but so rules. And so here couple of nodes also we can use for so communicating from each and every end user. So that particular process is called as OSA layer communication. Okay. So how we can define this one now? If we want to communicate peer to peer or user to user or client to server or client to database or client to application, we will follow couple of rules and regulations, nothing but protocols via node. Finally, communication will be exchanged between two devices. So these communication process is called as communication channel. This communication channel defined by ISO along with ITU in 1984. So that communication channel we can call it as this communication channel is nothing but OSI layer communication. So just it is simple. So in between two users or in between any peer-to-peer devices, if you want to communicate, we will use voice layer communication. That is the importance. And there are 7 voice layers. Those layers are first one from top to bottom or bottom to top, anything is fine. So, but most of the cases, why we have to follow 7 to 1? So because as a user or computer, it will understand 0 to 1 whenever you are axing or sending the messages or receiving the messages. So that is the reason we can say 7 to 1, or else we can to say 1 to 7 also. Anything is fine. So from the interview point of view, you can start with one is physical layer, second one is data link layer, third one is network layer, and so on. Otherwise, you can say so top to bottom as well. It finds. So seventh one is application layer, sixth one is a presentation session, and so on. Okay. So first one is physical layer. So second one is data link layer. Third one is network layer. So fourth one is transport layer. Fifth one is session layer. Sixth one, presentation layer. And finally, application layer. So that is about overall 7 layers. Now what we can do, each and every layer importance and definition, data format, and also each and every layer wise attacks we can discuss. Okay, so let's start with layer number 7, application. So here I'll put layer number. Here I will put layer name, definition or description. Next one is data format. So data format, we have another name, protocol data unit, that is called PDU. Finally, attacks, each and every layer attacks. Okay, so now we are going to discuss about these are all the different things, part of the each and every layer. So layer number 7th to 1 I will follow. First one is 7th. So layer name is application layer. So now what is the importance of the application layer here? So application layer importance is mainly for to get an information or to provide an information. We will use application layer. For example, take Instagram. I want to make one of the reel and I want to upload, so that what I'm doing, so it's for my self satisfaction. Maybe I'm providing some of the message to the, okay, so social wise, so our society otherwise. So that is the way how I am providing some of the information to my friends and whoever is, so I accepted as a friend request. Nothing but whatever reels I'm uploading and they will see, and I'm providing some of the information to others. Okay. In this similar way, whatever other people are uploading, so whatever reels they are doing, we'll go and we'll watch it. Nothing but we'll receiving some of the information from others as well. It's not only applicable to just social networking websites, it's applicable to each and every field. Maybe I want to transfer the money, or maybe I want to travel, I want to book the appointment in the hospital, maybe I want to book one of the ticket, and so on. So I'm providing some of the information, and according to that one, I'm booking the ticket to travel to X to Y destination. In this similar way, so if I want to make any payment or if you want to do anything basically, so we will use this particular providing information or getting an information. Okay. So that information who is providing application or website. Okay. So that is the importance of the application layer, to provide or get an information. We will use application layer basically. Not only this one, so there are so many things will fall under the application. So it will for messaging purpose, it will use for the virtual terminal purpose, we can use for web browsing purpose, we'll use for file transfer purpose. Each and every case we can use. So either we can get or we can get the information, or we can provide the information. For example, maybe I want to transfer the data from, so as I said previously, SQL database to PostgreSQL database. Here I am copying the data from SQL database to PostgreSQL database. In that scenario, I'm providing some of the information, I'm copying some of the information as a data. So that is nothing but application side we will use. And the data format is data only. So data format is data in the application layer side or protocol data unit. And what are the different types of attacks will fall under the application layer wise? Already we have seen application layer 7 attacks are OWSP top 10. Okay. So Open Web Application Security Project, full form. So here I already discussed. So what is WASP top 10? It will conduct some survey or sampling theorem by contacting different customers, and they will get some of the feedback or survey from all these customers related to application wise. So in the application wise, what are the top 10 attacks you observed? That is the survey. We can take it from multiple companies, and finally we'll make it like a top 10 list. So as per the latest survey, it is 2021. So that is what we are following. So all those WASP top 10 category of the attacks will fall under the application layer number 7. If you want to protect and block and monitor or alert, we will use one of the tool on the application layer side, that is called web application firewall. So prevention tool also I will keep here. Not only just, so prevention tool, web application firewall, not only on the web application firewall side, each and every phase of the application development life cycle, part of the SDLC life cycle, software development life cycle. So here itself I missed two things. SDLC, I'm going back to previous one, previous slide or previous sheet. Full form is software development life cycle, and also WASP also I forgot. open web application security project, and also TPS, third party software. So whatever application side we are using, whether commercial or open source, we can call it as third party software, depending on some other third party, not from our own. And CA/CD or CDCI, continuous integration and continuous development. Okay, so go back to our voice layer sheet. Yeah, so each and every phase of the SDLC life cycle along with web application firewall. So web application nowadays, because of the hackers increasing a lot, their hacking capability on the application side, they are targeting most of the cases application, because each and everything nowadays we are using for apps. So apps are increasing a lot, mainly for the smartphone revolution, and also because with cheaper cost we are getting the internet data. So for everything we are depending on the apps and applications and websites. That is the reason this application security is increased a lot, part of the application layer number 7. So web application firewall, it is not sufficient because it is taking care of the automatic evaluation and also automatic analysis based on the signature, and also based on the machine learning capability and artificial intelligence capability. So couple of times it will give false positives. When I say false positive, it will give wrong information. So that is the reason, if we want to the manual analysis, each and every phase of the software development life cycle, so we have to go and we have to identify the respective vulnerabilities or any programming related issues are existing or any coding related. And also we have to take care of the security testing like black box, white box or gray box penetration testing, so that we can make sure that our application should be safe and secure. So this is the way we can use preventing tools part of the SDLC lifecycle and also web application firewall. Okay, so that is of the tool. And what are the features related to this application layer now? Features. First one is messaging purpose. We will use application layer. So what are the messaging protocols so far we discussed to deliver messages from X to Y location, or maybe through internet or maybe through network. So SMTP, simple message transfer protocol. It is like a protocol along with server we can use to deliver the messages related to emails, and also to send an emails. We will use SMTP, and port number is 25. Already we discussed yesterday this topic. And also just today itself we discussed POP3, post office protocol. This also will fall under the application side. So also data link layer, both. What is the port number for POP3?
140.
110. IMAP, Internet Message Access Protocol. So it is 143. And also we have SMB, Server Message Block, port number.
445.
What is the attack name? Through SMB, which attack it will occur?
Ransomware attack.
Exactly, ransomware attack. Okay, so these are the couple of messaging protocols, and also ICMP, Internet Control Message Protocol also, that, but I will keep that one as a network layer side. And the second one is we have web browsing purpose also we will use. So web browsing purpose also we will use this particular application layer. So web browsing related protocols are HTTP and port number 80. It's a dangerous protocol because whatever communication we are accessing through this particular HTTP protocol, it is not safe and secure. It will leak our confidential data, because whatever data format it is there, it is in plain text or clear text. So in case we are providing our data in the HTTP websites, So attacker can easily, without encoding or decoding, or without any making encrypted or decryption part, you can see our data. So that is the reason it will not provide so encryption, it will not provide confidentiality, it will not provide non-reputation and so on. So that is the reason this HTTP is a dangerous protocol. To eliminate this particular web browsing related drawbacks, whatever it is there, we will use HTTPS. So this is also web browsing protocol and port number 443. So these are all web browsing related protocols. Once again, we will give the HTTP request and HTTP response. There are 5 different types of authentication codes. It will appear whenever end user is accessing the respective web browser or web server backend. So those codes are 100 series, 200, 300, 400, 500. So these topics will discuss part of the application security. Next one is virtual terminal. So virtual terminals application, because yesterday itself I have shown, if you want to log in from my laptop through any remote device, I will use from Windows side RDP. It's a remote desktop and port number is 3389. In the similar way, so I will use telnet to log in one operating system of the Unix to another operating system of the Unix. For that one, we will use telnet. And also we'll use SSH as well. So SSH port number is 22. So these are all the protocols or virtual terminals. So it's not a serial cable. It is not a physical cable. Virtually, we are connecting from one operating system or one asset to another asset. It's not a physical cable connected. I'm not going to any physical location or a data center. I'm not inserting any RJ45. Okay. So, or any serial cable, and I'm not logging command line interface. Okay. So, yeah, this one also I forgot here. Full forms. CLI, command line interface. So it's very difficult to what is the drawback? We have to remember a lot of commands. So, but to eliminate this one for user friendly, we will use GUI or GUI. It's a graphical user interface. So I'm coming back to isolates. Yeah. So all these things, we are not going to physical and we are not giving any serial cable. Okay. Or RJ45 Ethernet cable to connect any server or database or load balancer or firewall or proxy or router or switch or even our laptop or workstation and so on. So everything like a virtual terminal. So those cases we'll use these different types of protocol. This is like application. So yesterday we have seen PuTTY application to log into respective Unix operating system, and also we have seen RDP remote desktop app to connect to the other operating system part of the Windows from our physical asset. So next one is the file transfer. So file transfer also will fall into the application side. So just now I said backing up one of the data from SQL data to PGSQL database or SQL database to so GridGain or Couchbase or Cassandra or MongoDB and so on. So these are the different types of database are very famous. So in that scenario, we will use couple of protocols. Those protocols are FTP and file transfer protocol full form and port number 2021. So 20 is for receiving and 21 is for the data connection side we will use. So this also I have explained yesterday. And next one is SFTP. So secure file transfer protocol port number 22. So here telnet I forgot 23. Yeah, so these are all the different types of so application layer side protocols we'll use for the difference of featuring purpose. Not only that one, so even we can create couple of DNS records, DNS, and also DHCP will not fall under here. So those things also will fall under here, but these are the main features. So one is web browsing purpose, we'll use application layer. Second one is messaging purpose. Third one is file transferring purpose. And also fourth one is for virtual terminal purpose. So that is about overall application layer. So it is one of the very important layer in entire OSI layers. So layer number 7, application layer, and also layer number 3, network layer. So these two layers are very, very important. So to access any application, this particular application layer is very, very important. And also to get an internet, we will use network layer. It is nothing but layer number 3. So most of the attacks also will come through these two layers only. One is application layer. Second one is network layer, layer number 3. So not only WASP top 10, I forgot to say a couple of other attacks as well. SANS top 25. So SANS is one of the organization once again, and they will conduct survey and they will provide top 25 attacks instead of the top 10. So they'll provide top 25 attacks related to application side. And also man in the middle attack, MITM, man in the middle attack. So here middleman, like attacker, he will come as a middleman or broker or intermediate person. Then in between user and also website, or in between user and server, you will take session hijacking or URL manipulation or URL redirections or a parameterized queries. So linking, and finally, he will try to take our session. Then he will take on behalf of server, he will respond back, or on behalf of client, he will respond back in such a way you will get the unauthorized information. That is called man in the middle attack. MITM attack also, it's a fall under. So application layer side. So example is session hijacking. So that is about so total overall application layer number 7 and application layer. And next one is layer number 6. Once I'll complete this one, I will stop it for today. So presentation layer. So layer number 6 is presentation layer, and the presentation layer importance, basically what it will do. So it will convert one form of data into another form of data. So what is mean by that one? So what is the definition of the presentation layer or description of the presentation layer? It will convert one form of data into other form of data. So whenever we are accessing any audio or video or any websites, so it will use different types of mechanisms. Those mechanisms are encryption. For example, as I said just now, when you're doing any web browsing or virtual private terminal access, VPN, and RDP access, or sending the mails and so on, there we can use converting one form of data into another form of data. So using SSL TLS certificates by providing the password or key or public or private key exchange. So nothing but whatever data we are using, it will convert one form to another form. So examples of these particular or features of this particular one form of data into another form of data. Examples: encryption and also decryption. It's one of the interior question. Encryption and decryption will fall under which layer? What is the answer? Presentation layer. Encoding, decoding. In the similar way, data compression, compressing of the data. So these things will fall under the presentation layer. So now we can go and we can see what is meant by encryption, decryption, and what is data compression, and also what is meant by encoding, decoding. So not only that one, along with this one, there are so many examples like binary to decimal or decimal to binary. So all these things we are converting one form of the data into other form of data. Base 16 to base 32 encoding, or base 32 base 64. All these encoding mechanism, these things will fall under the payload part of the application development. Developers is aware of this payload and also how this encoding and decoding will happen at the time of the development on the web browsing side. Okay, So now I can go and I can explain about main thing, encryption, decryption, because this is very, very important. So I will go back to our draw.io. So take example here, plain text or clear text. So maybe for example, my HDFC Bank user ID 111111. Okay. So that is plain text or clear text. We are not adding any encrypted key here. Here we'll use algorithm. So that algorithm is also called as using password or key. So keys are two. One is private and public. So these keys from front end we will not see. We can see only from back end. It will exchange back end side. Where we can store these keys, we can store in the key vault or HSM hardware security module or KMS key management system or HashiCorp. There are so many tools are there, even CyberRk as well. So now encrypted channel will form. So now for example, I am opening HDFC Bank net banking. So if I'm clicking on here, so it will ask user ID, and after that we have to give continue, and thereafter it will ask password, and so it will take multi-factor authentication mechanism using OTP via email or maybe through phone number, and finally we'll enter into HDFC Bank. This same thing is applicable to ICICI or Access or SBI Bank and so on. So now whatever data I'm entering here, so this one may be, in case if you don't have the SSL/TLS certificate, part of the HDFC Bank, whatever cryptography algorithms it is using. Okay. So now, in case it is HTTP connection, my data can be completely clear text. It can be transferred via URLs. And it will not provide any password and key. Okay. So now attacker, in case he will take our session, then he can see everything our data. So that is the reason most of the passwords also, whenever we are storing, it will come as a masking. So like a star, 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 star. And also for that process, we can call it as data anonymization techniques. Even in the logs also, do you think that wherever PII data, it is there like MDN number or SN number or else our credentials like username and password, it will not store directly plain text. In case if it is storing in the plain text, whoever is taking care of the cybersecurity SOC operation people, they can see our data. Okay, they can see our passwords. So that is the reason we can mask that data. That masking process, we can call it as a data anonymization part or data masking. Okay, so now once I will enter my customer ID part of the HDFC Bank or maybe so Axis Bank or ICICI Bank, now in between my web browser to backend server, keys will be exchanged. So how this encryption will happen? So for example, I will give 111111. So this is my customer ID and I will give continue, and it will ask username and password and OTP it will occur. And we have to enter the OTP. Now in between my web browser to backend web server of the database of the HDFC Bank. So now once I will enter, this is like a data. For this one, it will be symmetric keys for data transfer. Now what the HDFC Bank backend server it will do? It will send public key. So that public key is not aware of by the attacker. Okay. So whatever public key sent by web server of the HDFC Bank, using that public key, now I will enter the password whatever I'm using and I will add a hash value and also salt value. And I will log into the respective HDFC bank. Then I want to transfer the money. I'll go to net banking account transfer or money transfer option. Now whatever data I'm entering, so whatever key is provided by the HDFC bank server, using that public key, I'm encrypting the password. I'm encrypting the overall content or data, whatever I'm going to deliver, even though I'm using the internet. Whether without internet can we access these public websites? No, it's not possible. Now, whatever public is sent it by the web server of the HDFC bank, using that key, using that asymmetric key, I can encrypt the data from client side. Now I can send and I can log into the respective HDFC bank, and in between my web browser and also to backend web server of the HDFC bank, it will take care of authentication and authorization part, and also it will exchange the keys. Now, whatever key I'm entering, that particular process, we can call it as encryption mechanism. Okay. Now, backend web server, they have its own private key. It will decrypt the key, whatever money transfer I'm doing. So how much money end user wants to transfer the money, it will decrypt and it will see, and according to that one, using backend database, using SQL or PGSQL database queries, it will match that query and automatically money can be debited from my account to some X count as a credited. So this is the way how the total encrypted channel will form in between end user to the respective backend server. Okay, so that entire process using encrypted channel, it will form using the SSL TLS certificate and using SSL TLS mutual authentication. Now, this is the practical scenario, just now explained, but theoretical way how we can define this one now. So the process of converting plain text data. So plain text data is web browser from client side. Okay. So now entering my data like a customer ID or whatever username and password. So now I'm providing the password key, what our backend server is providing like a HDFC bank. Okay. So using that key, I'm encrypting the data. Using this one, I'm sending the data to the web server and communication channel will form. So here our end user is setting, and here example, our database related to HDFC. So here end user, here HDFC bank. Now what will happen? So in between my web browser and also to the HDFC bank, encrypted channel will form. So how this encrypted channel will form? Because whenever I'm entering my data to HDFC bank part of this particular key, whatever it is shared by the web server. So using that key, this particular customer ID and data, whatever I'm going to transfer the money as well, everything I will encrypt. Using this password and key, so I'm encrypting this data and I'm sending as a communication channel. And so HDFC bank, it has a private key and it will decrypt and it will see. So that is entire process is called as encryption. Then how we can define this one in theoretical way? So the process of converting plain text or clear text data into encrypted data using some of the algorithms. What are the different types of algorithms we'll use here? Symmetric and asymmetric. And also we'll use public and private keys. So these are all the algorithms we'll use. These are like a mathematical calculations. Okay, using these algorithms, so total encrypted channel will form. So how that is possible? Through SSL or TLS communication, through digital signature, through certificates. In such a way, so trustworthy will happen, and also non-reputation will happen, encryption will happen, and finally, so overall data can be transferred and communication channel will form. So here now, plain text is one type of data format and encrypted is one type of data format. converting one data format into another data format is called as presentation layer. So before encrypted channel, what is the main data? Plain text data. So now I'm using what I'm using, private key or public key or password. So now I'm converting that data into encrypted data. So here plain text data I'm converting to encrypted data. So this process who is doing now? Presentation layer. Okay. So how we can define now encryption? The process of converting plain text data or encrypted data using computer algorithm or using keys is called as encryption. So now opposite to encryption is decryption. So what is mean by decryption now? The process of converting encrypted data into plain text data using algorithm or key, that is called decryption. So just opposite only. So now it is a bidirectional. What is mean bidirectional here? So we are sending from plain text to encrypted text. That is one way of direction. In the similar way, from encrypted data, we are sending back to plain text. That is another direction. So two directions in our technical terminology, we can call it as a bi. Bi means two directional. So two directional here, bidirectional. So encryption and decryption is a bidirectional process. Okay, that is the keyword you have to remember. Encryption is a bidirectional. Encryption and decryption is a bidirectional. Okay, so here I'm highlighting this one. Why? Because couple of interviews they can expect what is the difference between encryption and hashing. So encryption we can make it like a reverse is possible. Meaning what? So decryption also we can make it to encryption. Opposite is possible, but hashing reverse is not possible. So whatever hash value we are generating, part of our we have seen MD5 hash generator, right? Hash value when we discussed. So for example, my password is maybe example Ramakrishna. So this is my password. Just I'm generating here. Now there are two different hashing algorithms or hash values it is appeared. One is MD5 hash, second is SHA-1 hash. So now whenever I given plain text, it is converted into a digital format of both characters and numbers. But if I will take this one and if I'll go, I cannot convert this particular hash into Ramakrishna. That is not possible. Reverse is not possible. So hashing side reverse is not possible. So it is not a bidirectional, only it is a unidirectional. Okay. So that is hashing. So, but what about encryption? Two ways it is possible. We can do encryption and also we can do decryption. Meaning what? For example, if I want to decrypt my bank statement related to debit card or maybe credit card bank statement, whatever it is sending HDFC Bank or ICICI Bank. So now bank, what they will do, so they will encrypt the document and they will send it to us. And using the first four letters of my name along with month and date of birth, we can give and we can decrypt the respective bank statement. Okay. So here I am, whatever bank is encrypted, I am decrypting that one. Even not only just for the bank statements, even it is possible your income tax file site, digital signature. And also if you want to make sure that Aadhaar card download, it will ask first 4 digits of your name, and also it will ask against your month or date. Then we what now Aadhaar card or UIDI government portal they will do. So they will encrypt our Aadhaar card because it's a PII data, and so we can using our key. What is the key here? Our first 4 what's not what letters of our name and date of birth. Using that password or keys, we are decrypting the data. So meaning here we can do both the directional encrypting and decryption we are doing. So that is the reason encryption is bidirectional and hashing is a unidirectional mathematically. So that is the main difference. It is one of the very, very favorite interview question. What is the main difference between encryption versus hashing? So encryption is bidirectional. So already I mentioned. So that is about overall encryption decryption process. Yeah, so we'll continue from tomorrow. Sorry, yeah, tomorrow. So it will take another maybe 10 minutes, these two topic. That's okay. So we'll continue from tomorrow evening. Tomorrow evening, 7 p.m. IST class. Do you have any questions?
The difference between the coding and encryption.
Sorry, your voice is chopping.
1 second, let me check my network. Now,
Yeah, it's okay.
yeah. What's the difference between encryption and encoding?
Yeah, encoding I did not complete yet. That's what I
Okay,
said. So
so
tomorrow I'll complete encoding. Encoding mainly whatever data format, it's a readable wise. So when you say readable, for example, take audio files and video files. So audio files and video files, we can do data compression, reducing of the file size. So example, high HD quality, we can see, right? So in case if you are using 780 or 1080 or maybe 380 or 360, whatever it is there, we can reduce the compression of the audio and video, and according to our convenient and readable, so we can go and we can do encoding and decoding. So that is the main difference. How we can define this one? Mainly for reusability and also for user convenient purpose, we can encode and decode the respective data. So that is one form of the data we are encoding, and using another form we are decoding, so that it is easy for us to read it. So that is the difference of the encoding, encryption, hashing.
sure, got it.
Any other?
No.
What about others?
No.
Okay, guys, then thank you so much. And I will upload this particular file within 1 hour, because it will take some time to upload in the cloud record in the Zoom. And so tomorrow evening class at 7 p.m. IST. And thank you so very much and have a great day.
Have a great day.